What's up, guys? This is Eddie from Studio 321 coming at you, well, in the middle of the night. So, here we go. A lot of big things happening right now, so let's get right into it. So, in a twist of irony, I'm arguing with some people online tonight. I'm sitting there in the dark because I can't sleep, arguing with some people on Facebook about, the whole Maduro situation and why we're down there and what's going on. Now, if you don't know, which you probably don't because most of you are sleeping, it looks like either our CIA or special forces went down to Venezuela tonight and extracted Maduro and his wife, stuck him on a plane, and they're going to wherever they're going to. Nobody knows that right now. So it's so funny because I was arguing with these people earlier about what was actually going on down there and why we were why we were doing what we were doing with Venezuela. So and Maduro. So here we go. This is my take on the situation. Why did we just go down there and get him? Okay, is it because he was basically a drug dealer? No, that's not why. That might be 10% of the reason why, but that's not the real reason. So here's what it is. The United States government has wanted Maduro out of power for a long time. Okay, he's uncooperative. He has been doing things against the wishes of our government for some years. We were hoping that he was going to lose the last election, which they feel like he cheated and stole to remain in power because they say he actually lost it. So after that, I believe that the United States government decided that we were going to figure out a way to get him out. Now, Trump obviously has the guts to do it, right? I mean, he just goes from one problem to the next trying to solve them. He doesn't care. And I love that about him. And so I think this was next on his list. So here's the thing. Maduro was basically like the head of a drug cartel. Yes, he made a lot of money letting the drug cartels openly sell their, cocaine, fentanyl, whatever they're selling. Okay, so we started bombing the drug boats, right? Everybody cheered about it. Trump brought up the fact that it was killing 200,000 Americans a year. But that's not the real reasons we were bombing them, okay? We were trying to put pressure on the cartels in Venezuela because you have to realize Maduro has all the power down there. He's surrounded by cartel leaders as well who were protecting him. However, when you start attacking the cartels, what you do is you put pressure on Maduro. And I'm pretty sure that our three-letter agencies, which we all know, were down there speaking to the cartel leaders saying, hey, look, we're going to stop bombing your drug boats and your, and disrupting your flow if you get Maduro out. Now, that sounds kind of wicked, but that's just geopolitics, guys. That's the way that it works in the world, right? So we put pressure on the cartels because they're the only people down there with enough power to stand up to Maduro. That was one of the ways we were trying to get him to go ahead and leave. We either figured probably that they would kill him or that he would just, they would all basically gang up on him and he would exile to another country. Okay, so either that wasn't happening or it wasn't happening fast enough, okay? So we just went down and basically took him out of there. Now, what's the real reason for that? Again, it's really not the drugs. That's what they sell the American people because we're always yeah, he's protecting America. And he is protecting America, okay? Because Venezuela is a satellite country. But this is the thing. This is about oil, okay? Venezuela has, I believe they say it's, the largest supply of oil in the world or like one of the three largest supplies of oil in the world. I'm not sure which one, so don't quote me on it, but it's top 5, we're going to say, largest supplies of oil in the world. They have been selling oil to China and Russia, okay, which is against our wishes. We want to be able to control that. Now you say, well, why do you want to be able to control that? We want to be able to control that flow of oil because oil is what allows countries to wage war. You understand? If a country has no oil or they're low on oil, they cannot wage war. It just can't. Armies cannot move without oil. It's the basis of everything, right? So if we can control the oil that goes to these countries, we can control partially their ability to wage war. Okay. Venezuela has been, well, actually Maduro, not Venezuela, has been uncooperative with the United States for basically ever since he's been in power. Now, if you remember, before he was in power, I believe who was it? Hugo Chavez or whatever. I think was the guy before him. You know, we didn't really, honestly, we didn't really like him either, but I think we got along with him a little better than Maduro. I don't know why Maduro did what he did, because, you know, in the end, look what just happened to him, right? And so here's the thing. We want to control the oil, or at least to who they're selling to. Maduro was not playing ball in that situation, and so we just went and took him out. Now, it's hard to explain that to a population of people. You know, again, I've been online for a week talking to people, and they're, you know, they always got some stupid stuff to say. Trump's trying to start a war. This is going to be like another Iraq, Afghanistan, blah, 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 blah. And I've been telling them all week, I'm like, look, this isn't going to be that way. Either he's going to leave on his own, or he's going to be taken out of power, because we don't want problems with Venezuela. They were actually have been an ally of ours for years and years. And if you remember, before Maduro and Chavez, Venezuela was a rich country. When they went to basically, well, I don't know what they call it. I don't know if it was a socialism, or they went straight communism. I don't know what they call it down there. But once they went that direction, that country became dirt poor. Government controlled all the oil, so the government made all the money, and the people starved, right? So, you know, this whole situation, I knew it was coming. I've been saying it's coming for weeks. I've been arguing with people online, and the truth is, I was right. I mean, I was right almost down to exactly what happened. I said he's either going to exile, you know, be forced out by his own people, which would be the cartels, or, you know, he was going to disappear in the middle of the night. And he disappeared in the middle of the night. Now, he's alive. His wife is alive. I don't know what they're going to do with him. I don't know if they're bringing him to the United States. I don't know if they're going to send him to Russia, because they had tried to make a deal with him before that he could get his wife and, you know, surrounding family and whatnot, get on a plane, and he would be safely escorted to Russia, where he could live the rest of his life in exile, you know. And I was thinking that might be the way that it went. But I don't know now that we have him. I don't know if he's going to go to Russia still, or if he's going to come to the United States and face some kind of court. I don't know. But, you know, again, not to say I told you so, but I was right about this. I've been right about this for weeks. As a matter of fact, it was weird. I put some stuff online this week about it, and I was explaining to some people that how exactly what I thought, you know, was the real reason behind all this, and all of a sudden they took all my stuff off of Facebook. So I'm pretty sure I hit it right on the head. You know, you start talking about the 3-letter agencies being involved, then it gets a little weird. You know what I mean? But anyways, guys, watch the news. It's going to be an interesting day ahead. And, you know, like I said, man, you know, I knew this was coming. This is geopolitics. This is not really, you have to understand, this is not really about right and wrong. It's not about like feelings and like, oh, we're bullies. It's none of that, okay? The United States has the right, we're a superpower, to control what happens around us and on our borders. Just like the superpowers over on the other side of the world. China, they absolutely control the small countries around them. Don't think for a minute that they don't, because they do. You know, and if one of those small countries goes against China's wishes or started working with the United States, there would be problems. You know, that's you know, part of the whole problem brewing between China and Taiwan. They don't like any Western influence in their area, okay? And we don't like Eastern influence in our area, and that's understandable. That's geopolitics. We're superpowers. We are going to control what happens around us. It's not really a right or wrong type of stuff. It just is what it is, okay? But anyways, guys, I hope you liked my video. I hope it helped you out a little bit. I'll talk to you soon. This is Eddie from Studio 321. Have a good night.